So my name is Bethany, and I attended Atlanta Bible College last year for the first time. And how I ended up there is sort of an interesting story, and I feel like that needs to be told. Um, I'm not originally part of the Church of God, which is probably why none of you recognize me from your fuel events and such. I grew up in the Episcopal Church, and when I made the decision to follow Jesus, I started going to an evangelical church where they believed that Jesus was God, and they believed when you go to heaven when you die, and stuff like that. And so that was what I got my foundation in, and I ended up going to college for engineering my freshman year right after high school, and I don't know, I've always had a call in my heart for ministry and to study the Word of God and to do what Jesus said. So I decided to go to engineering though, just because, you make a lot of money and you get a good stable career and, all that stuff that the world tells you to do. So anyways, God blessed me with an internship, which showed me that I really don't want to be an engineer. I'm not cut out for that. That's not what God's made me to do. So I ended up taking a year off, and during that time I started studying the Bible with a friend of mine, and they started showing me that you don't go to heaven when you die, and Jesus isn't God. There's a kingdom, and the Father's the only true God. And I'm like, oh man, this is crazy. But I saw it in the scriptures, so I believed it, and I realized I really didn't have a foundation for what I believed, and I started praying, that God would provide a foundation for me so I could stand on what I believe, because I realized, you can't really preach the gospel and make disciples if you don't know what the gospel is. So I had a problem, and God had a solution, because my friend ended up mentioning Atlanta Bible College, and I went and checked out the website, and I just started crying when I got on the website. Like, I didn't know why, but I prayed about it, and God said go, and I'm like, what? Because I'm from Rhode Island, and that would mean moving to Georgia, which is like 1,000 miles away from home. So it was a big step, but God said go, and so I wasn't about to keep running from what He'd called me to do, which was some sort of ministry. I'm not exactly sure yet what, but I'm sure He'll show me. So I ended up going to ABC, and it was probably the best year of my life. I got a firm foundation for what I believed. I grew a lot closer to God. I learned how to support what I believe and share it with other people in a way that they can connect to. And I think that God really used my time well there to prepare me. I also made a lot of great connections with the church community down there, and even just the Atlanta Bible College community. Like, I came in knowing nobody because I wasn't from the Church of God. God said go, so I just went, but I didn't know anybody. But people were so welcoming, and they just loved me, and I really felt like I was a part of something down there, which was a huge blessing. And being down there also led to other opportunities. Like, God opened up a door where I am now. I'm in New York at an internship at Living Hope Community Church with Sean Finnegan, who was one of my teachers down at Atlanta Bible College. And I'm learning so much here, and I can just tell that God brought me into the center of His will to reach people for the kingdom and to learn and to grow in Him and in His Son. But none of this would have happened if I had just said no and not done what He told me to do, which was to go to ABC. So I would really recommend that you check out Atlanta Bible College. Even if you don't end up becoming a pastor or something, missionary or something like that, it's still a really good place to get a foundation and to learn what you believe and to be able to support it. It's also a great time to grow spiritually. You're in a very spiritually friendly environment. Just being down south, like, people love Jesus, and being at ABC and at Cornerstone, you'll find a great support system there. And it's helpful to kind of take a year off, especially if you don't know where you're going in life, if you don't know what God's called you to do. I do recommend you take some time off and you don't just jump into something that your heart's not in. Like, I could do engineering, but my heart wasn't into that. My heart was into, serving God and sharing the gospel with people, and he ended up leading me to ABC. So I don't know where I'm going next, but I do just recommend that you pray about it, give it some consideration, especially if you've never thought about it before, and it it really changed my life. So hope you guys have a great week at Fuel, and that, God bless, guys.